Shut up and sit down.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Olympic Village. It is early February and it is round one, high excitement of the PS4 NPL season here in Victoria, back at the old stomping ground, starting their 59th season in the competition. Heidelberg United Alexander starting tonight against their opponents from Port Melbourne. It's Greg Blake on deck. We're live and streaming, whatever that means, thanks to Windsor Management Insurance Brokers. And with me is part of the A-team, John Fortinos. So Heidelberg had the honours last year, 2 wins over Port Melbourne. Can they make it a third and start the season on a high note after such a disappointing finals exit last year? Expectations are, though, that they can go one better this year. You've got the knowledge around the club. How are they feeling in terms of just making that one extra step that they missed last year?
The couple of new signings, although one of the boys got injured last week, Adrian Zara, who coincidentally was picked up from Port Melbourne. The other one that is a new boy to look out for, Paul O'Brien, and I've dubbed him windscreens, but we'll work on that. But Paul O'Brien's a new starter, scored the winner last season for Redlands United against Adelaide United, knocking out the champions of the previous season in the A-League. So Heidelberg have picked him up from Redlands in Queensland. So he's one to look out when he comes on in the second half. But pretty much as you were, although there was some late breaking news, Greg, in that Kane Shepherd on the last day of the transfer in February was signed for Avondale, which was a bit of a loss for the club, but them's the breaks.
So thanks to Windsor Management, we are a minute and a bit in, no score. Heidelberg hosting Port Melbourne to start the season. No score as yet, and probably testimony to the fact that Heidelberg at times last year were a very special football team. It just came unstuck in the playoffs. Yeah. That final, that's probably the best way to refer to it.
Yeah, it was all looking good up until the red card, and we noticed that Ruben Way, of course,
the champ
is missing, serving a suspension as a result of that red card in the major final last year.
We are live and streaming.
Yep, thanks to our friends.
Either way, bullocking his way through was Noon. Canna.
There it goes.
No, side net.
Outside net.
From Sean Ellis. Great move.
Well, they unlocked them that time, didn't they? And that was good interplay there. Kanakaris, Noon, and eventually Sean Ellis getting on the end of that, Greg. And we thought for a split second that it might have found the net, but it was only side netting. But that's the crisp movement that we saw last year. The boys that know each other, that work well off each other, and almost producing the opening goal within the first 5 minutes. Next week, of course, Avondale, then St Albans, and then in 3 weeks a big derby against South Melbourne.
Oh, that was brave then by JW Costa on the run. And again, Costa Kanakaris, that time left foot across the face of goal. But they are looking supremely confident at the moment. We're nearly 8 minutes in.
Yeah, and they've had a couple of really good strikes on goal. A little disappointed not to be one up at the moment, but certainly a great play by JW there, Wilkins, who put his body on the line and turned the Port Melbourne defence around that time, Greg.
They've looked fluid and incisive to this point, and that perhaps, Jay Font, I forgot your name for a moment. It's because I haven't seen you for 6 months.
We've been away for a while.
But it's again, you talk about the value of having that consistency in the squad. They know each other now. They know each other well. And that's going to be a value, you would imagine. Brendan White goes long. Harry Noon. Petridis. The King again. Tried to sell a dummy and get through that wall of white shirts. Couldn't do so. Lampard down the line. A chase for the barometer, Stephen Pace, but he does it with aplomb, as always.
He always looks to have just that extra bit of time to move, doesn't he, Stevie Pace?
One step ahead of the game. Kanakaris does well to hook it back in. Harry Noon, High Noon.
Good run.
Jinking run, took a deflection, bobbled past the near post.
Yeah. I reckon, he might go back to Lukey Biles for that earlier challenge. The first yellow card to Harry Noon. To Luke Biles, I beg your pardon.
So 16 minutes gone. We've got a scoreless deadlock, and Sean Ellis about to unleash that left foot for the first time in season 2017 from a set piece. Evaluates, hands on hips. Shawnee Ellis.
Whoa!
Well, it was well on target, but the goalkeeper did well. Brendan White just took half a step back, arched his back, and plucked the ball. Tumbalis lofts one, sits in the breeze. Away by McGowan.
I want to be keeping the ball on the ground at this stage, especially with this wind gusting about.
Petreski, been busy tonight. Too long for Harry.
Flag's gone up for a Heidelberg throw.
Harry wanted a free kick then. JW with the tossing duties for Heidelberg. Tried to hit Sean Ellis. Good intercept from McGowan. He's a powerful runner, that Bernardo Madrid. Govas goes left, right. Obradovic spears that one aimlessly over the goal line, and we'll get a restart from Chris Theodoridis. The skipper skews it just a little bit, turned over. Obradovic
Well done by Dumbalis that time.
lofted forward by Carvelis. Glancing header clear by the skipper. Petreski
Nice ball.
hits Noon. Got some room to move as Harry Noon strokes it into the path of JW, who trundles toward the penalty area. Feed off for Canna. Harry Noon. Glancing header. And the King says, I'm back, baby. We are 35 minutes in. Great move down this right-hand side. And King Kenny gets his first of the season on 35 minutes.
And that all started from that wonderful ball by Phil Petreski there in his own half.
Strong running from JW.
Yeah, strong running from JW, and then a lovely ball. He's whipped in a couple of nice balls that time by Harry Noon, who's also done that a few times. And on the end of it, Kenny Athew found him beautifully, just in that little channel, glanced it past the keeper, and Brendan White had no chance. So good goal to the Burgers, and that'll bit of reward for some good enterprising play in this first half.
So thanks to Windsor Management Insurance Brokers, Kenny Athew, the King, opens his account for the season and opens Heidelberg United's account for the season as well. Yeah, we're live and streaming. Luke Biles, elegant. Kenny with the leap. Shawnee tries to jockey to the front of the position. He does.
Oh!
And the left foot was nearly on the money. Right across the face of goal, just wide of that far post.
As soon as he found a yard of space, Greg, I thought he's going to have a ping, and my golly, was he close to that. Keeper was well beaten, and it just flashed across that left-hand post. That would have been a great fill-up going into half-time, as we're counting down just 2 minutes of regulation.
So White away by Luke Biles. Kenny does well to shield the ball. Harry Noon. Stephen Pace.
Here we go again, Harry
Noon
Noon.
again. We've got two men steaming into the box, and Harry, it's an awkward 7-iron and misses the green by about 10 metres.
He rushed that a little. I saw the idea. He's trying to get that ball in quickly before the defence could set.
It was 2-on-2 in the box.
Yes, it was, and just rushed the effort there a little and sprayed it wide of that far post.
So there might be only
Good work.
60 or so seconds on the clock. Heidelberg lead it by 1 coming into the interval.
And again, the applause from the bench there as you could see the move unfolding. The final ball just a little too strong there. And there's half time, Greg.
And there is indeed half time here on HUFC TV. Live and streaming on your interweb. Thanks to Windsor Management Insurance Brokers. It is a 1-0 game here at the Village. And the sole goal scorer, who else but Kenny Atheu?
Yeah, 35 minutes.
35 minutes.
Didn't they start well, Greg Blake? They really turned it on in the first 10 to 15 minutes. Port worked their way back in, but we said that the play down the right-hand side here was eventually going to unlock Port Melbourne, and it turned out that way with Harry Noon whipping in a delightful ball to Kenny Atheu, who, in fairness, probably didn't quite get the header, but it helped him out in the end, and that's the game breaker at the moment.
It is the game breaker at the moment. Still well in this game, the Port Melbourne Sharks. Plenty of action still to come on HUFC TV. And we'll see you second half, Jay Fott. Looking forward to it.
Should be a good one.
Welcome back to the Olympic Village on this summer Saturday evening. As the season starts for Heidelberg United, we're halfway through the home clash with Port Melbourne Sharks. Half-time score. Heidelberg leading by 1-0, and no surprise that the sole goal scorer of the game, Kenny Atheu, on 35 minutes, giving Heidelberg the lead. Second half action with Heidelberg in the gold and black, heading to left of screen. Really is. Petrie at midfield. Petreski had a really good first half for Petreski.
He's been impressive.
He really has.
Just
Shawnee Ellis through traffic. Shawnee Ellis, top of the box.
Oh,
Shawnee Ellis brought down.
Edge of the box, and it'll be a yellow card. I'll tell you what, he's just about ready to pull that left foot trigger. And it was, I think, Kearney that brought him down in the end. So on 50 minutes, it was Kearney that'll pick up the yellow card. But didn't he just look to accelerate away, and the lunging tackle might have just about saved the second goal there, although it's in a very dangerous position, Greg.
So free kick Heidelberg.
But you can certainly say it's been all Heidelberg in this first 6 minutes of this second half.
Well, they went for the throat to start the game, and they've gone for the throat to start the second half as well. Port Melbourne have been steadfast, but they are under a lot of pressure at the moment. And Shawnee Ellis, the factor, looking to utilise the exquisite talents of that left foot, and
struck it
got
well
under
enough.
that.
Yeah, struck it well, but too high.
Brendan White to restart for the Sharks. Arm wrestle in midfield, won by Port Melbourne. Golvas through traffic. Good ball left to right.
Yeah, sweeping ball to Obradovic.
Deep far post, and in the end, safety first. Nodded away by JW for a corner to Port Melbourne.
The first foray forward, second half, and they win a corner kick.
Down at that Murray Road end of the Olympic Village.
And 600 Lux lights have taken over well and truly.
It does look spectacular at night, doesn't it? Corner to Port Melbourne.
Kenny helping back.
Away by the skipper.
Harry Noon.
Hard running from Harry Noon. You'd expect no less.
JW in support.
JW spins out of trouble.
Oh, lovely
Managed
ball.
to propel the ball forward. Petrescu outside for Harry Noon. Far post is Shawnee Ellis. Shawnee Ellis had plenty of acreage around him on that far post. He tried the shot instead.
Had 2 men over there, and he acknowledges now that perhaps it wasn't that great running in the first place by Harry Noon and JW.
Imprudent decision making, let's put it down to. We're 8.5 minutes in to the second half, and it is still a 1-0 game. Hopefully that doesn't set a tone.
I see some movement on the Heidelberg bench, Greg. I think there might be a substitution coming up.
JW spins the ball back for pace. Petrie, JW again, looks up this time. That's a better ball in. Kenny, chest it down. Well, his eyes lit up.
Should have done better. Should have done better, Kenny.
Great ball in from Jordan Wilkes.
He took it down well, but then just blasted the shot well wide. You really want to be testing the keeper in that instance. Looks like Andrew Cartanos might be coming on.
It's the first change of the game for Heidelberg United. They're still leading by a goal to 0.
It is Harry Noon.
It is Harry Noon.
Yeah, as we thought.
Yeah.
I think they
The fourth official put the
number 12 up. It is
number
Harry
12
Noon.
up. So Harry Noon can't. Well, he's put in a good shift, Harry Noon.
Worked
He
hard.
always does.
And I think this might be an opportunity for Cartanos, who, as we've seen in his previous stint at Heidelberg, very quick-footed. And also with number 36, who is Jamie Nogler, coming on for Port Melbourne, replacing the number 12, Godfrey Okello.
So again, we've still got that stalemate feel about the game. Port Melbourne have not really threatened. They've hung in there, but they haven't threatened. Goalkeeper backs himself. Cartanos. Kanakaris. Cleared in the end by Michael McGowan again.
Tried the cutback that time, but again, good work by Cartanos. Found Costa Kanakaris with a reverse pass that time and almost got him behind.
Cartanos upended, no free kick. Back to goal, Kanakaris, and
Jack Petrie
swept over the top by Jack Petrie.
He was just leaning back a little that time, Jack Petrie, but you just get the feeling something's brewing in this game.
So just bear in mind that in 7 days' time, next Saturday night at 7:30, Heidelberg will be hosting Avondale here at the Village. So put that in your calendar. Sean nearly stole a march, and in the end, a hurried clearance from Michael McGowan.
As again, Stephen Pace makes his way up there.
In fact, it's Jack Petrie, my bad, with the call.
Kenny Athieu. Got into a tangle that time.
Clearing header from Josh Wilkins.
Yeah, safety first, no risk policy that time.
Identical scoreline to the last time these two teams met in round 20 down at Port Melbourne.
Well, vastly different weather conditions.
Vastly different. That was a harrowing night down at Port Melbourne.
Yeah, I think it took me about a week to thaw out after that. Into the final 5 minutes. Kenny Athieu turning away. He's got Sean Ellis making the run. Finds that man eventually. As Port Melbourne get across there and win the ball. Carvelis that time. JW with the header, Wilkes. Stevie Pace. Never wastes the ball.
Cartanos has got some acreage, hasn't he?
Tries a curler! Well, he scored a goal a couple of seasons ago, very similar position to that one, and I thought I was about to call that. It wasn't far away, and perhaps the best chance of the second half for Heidelberg. And that certainly would have finished the game off. As it looks like Lewis Hall warming up on the Heidelberg bench. And it might be Shawnee Ellis from the board there that might be coming off as Port Melbourne look to attack.
And Port have got about
3.5.
200 seconds. Kenny against Govas in midfield. Threading the ball through for Petrevski. Katanos. The King, Kenny Atheu. Great ball. Katanos, left foot, goalkeeper, near post. Good take.
Covered the front post well that time, did Brandon White. Because they got a man over this time. Port Melbourne. But good work there by Lewis Hall, the substitute. Has Petreski free. They just slow it up a little, just maintaining possession. Just about 5 minutes clock over.
Absolutely. Last play of the game, and they're taking their time and moving it on.
Well, he's been good since he's come on, Cartanos. Looks to be fit this year finally.
Cartanos has his pocket picked as the referee
There it is.
finally calls an end to this round one matchup at the Olympic Village, live and streaming on HUFC TV, and the final score at the Olympic Village in the NPL PS4 round one game. It is Heidelberg United, Port Melbourne Sharks 0. A lacklustre game on so many levels, but a big tick in the W column for Heidelberg, courtesy of a 35th minute goal from the King, Kenny Atheu. Again, not one for the highlight reels, J-Fot, but the result.
The result is all that matters. 3 points, crucial to get the runs on the board. Early days, won't go down as a classic indeed, Greg Blake, but all that's important is you chalk one up on the win column, and it's going to be a busy month for Heidelberg. They'll take 4-1-0 wins, I would imagine, any day of the week.
Yep.
In these first 4 weeks. It's been as you said, not a vintage performance, but they certainly showed enough in patches that they could well and truly contain and control the game. So all in all, in the end, a comfortable win, but not a great win.
And bear in mind, once again, for the first 4 weeks of the season, Heidelberg United will be here at the Fortress for the next 3 Saturday nights. Starting next Saturday night, 7:30 against Avondale, so another one to look forward to for the Heidelberg fans. We will be live and streaming, J-Fot. It's been a pleasure to reacquaint myself with your more than adequate commentary stylings. And look, I've enjoyed it enormously. Thanks once again to Windsor Management Insurance Brokers, and we will see you and speak to you and enjoy the round 2 clash next Saturday night. We'll see you then.